In this video, I'll be explaining what a 3D cursor is in Blender and how you can use it as a tool. So when you add an object by hitting Shift A, going to the add menu and adding an object, the object is always going to be added where the 3D cursor is. So that's very useful. If you want to put an object at a specific spot, you can place the 3D cursor at that spot and then just add an object at that location. Now to move the 3D cursor, you're going to hold down the Shift key and just right click. Now if you click somewhere right here in the gray area, it's just going to kind of place it randomly, but if you shift right click on an object, it's going to place it on the surface of the object. Now I'm kind of a weirdo and I actually use the right click select in Blender, so if you use right click select, what you're going to do is just left click to place the 3D cursor. But for everyone else who uses the left click select, you're just going to shift right click to place the cursor. The other way to place the cursor is to hit the T key to open up the side panel, and you can actually click here to select the cursor. So now whenever you left click, it's just going to move the cursor. You can also drag it around, and so you can actually use a cursor mode, but it's a lot quicker just to keep it at the select box instead of having to open up the side panel every time. Now you can also place the cursor in the center of the selected object. So what you want to do is select an object, then what you're going to do is hold down Shift S. And when you hold down Shift S, that's going to bring up a pie menu. Now not all of these affect the 3D cursor, but the ones that do affect the 3D cursor have that 3D cursor icon. So what I can do is just hold down Shift S and then move my mouse to cursor to active and let go. And now you can see that 3D cursor is in the center of our object. You can also go into edit mode and you could select a certain selection or maybe a certain face and then do the same thing. So Shift S, cursor to active, and now you can see the 3D cursor is going to be in the very center of that face because that face was selected. Now you can also hit the N key to open up the side panel and you can click on the View tab. And on the View tab, you can see that there's this 3D cursor. And so there is the X, Y, and Z location, and then there's also the X, Y, and Z rotation. So if you want to rotate the cursor to a specific rotation, you can do that, and I'll be showing you why this can be useful later. Now what you can also do is you can set the transform pivot point to the 3D cursor. So normally when I hit R to rotate or G to grab or S to scale, it's going to rotate by the object's origin, and that is because on default, if you look here on the transform pivot point, it's set to median point, which is the selected object. Well, I can instead use 3D cursor. So if I set it to 3D cursor and then let's say I put the 3D cursor right up here, now when I hit R to rotate, or G to grab, or S to scale, you can see the transformation is coming from the cursor. So I can scale it from the cursor or rotate it around from the cursor's center. So I have this basic 3D character here, and I do have a tutorial showing you how to create this, so the link will be in the description. And so I haven't actually rigged this character, but let's say that I just want to set up a basic pose without actually rigging the character. Well, where the 3D cursor could be useful is because I could place the 3D cursor right here on the arm, or an even better way would be to go to the vertex select and then hold down the Alt key and select that loop there. And then let's say I want to put the 3D cursor in that loop. And then what I'll do is hit Shift S, and I could go to cursor to active, but what that's going to do is going to bring it to the last loop that I had selected or the last vertex. So instead I'll hit Shift S, move my mouse to cursor to selected, and then let go. So now you can see the 3D cursor is in the very center of that loop because that was the selected loop. So now in wireframe, I could select the entire arm, and then just like I talked about earlier, if I change the transform pivot point to the 3D cursor, I could hit R to rotate, and I could rotate the arms in edit mode. So I could just rotate the arms down. I could do the same thing here. So let's select that loop, Shift S, cursor to selected, and then I could go into wireframe and I could box select this entire arm, and then I could rotate this and we could do a basic pose without actually rigging the character. So we could just pose the character in edit mode. So here's another example of where the 3D cursor can be useful. So I have this kind of like sci-fi object, and then I have this bolt here, and I want to put the bolt or rivet here in the center, and then I want to duplicate it all the way around. Well, first what I could do is go into edit mode, and what I could do is just select something. So I'll go to the edge select or the vertex select, and I'll select this vertex right here on the very bottom. Then what I'm going to do is hit Shift S, and I'm going to do the cursor to selected, or I could do cursor to active. I'll just do cursor to selected. So now you can see the 3D cursor is right there. Well, now what I could do is I could select the object, so the bolt object, and let's say that I want to place the object right there. Well, if I hit Shift S, you can see as well as the cursor to selected, there's also selection to cursor. So if I do selection to cursor and then let go of the Shift S, now my selection is just brought to where the 3D cursor is. Another example of where this can be useful is if I want to duplicate these bolts and rotate them all the way around this object. What I could do is go into edit mode, and I can go to the face select and select this object, and then I'll hit Shift S, cursor to selected. So now the 3D cursor is in the very center of that rotation point. So I'll go back to object mode and I'll change the transform pivot point to the 3D cursor. So now if I select the bolt here and go to top mode, I'll hit Shift D to duplicate, Then I'll hit R to rotate, but you can see it's going to rotate around by the 3D cursor. So then I could type in a specific number, like maybe I'll type in 40 and hit enter. And then I could hit Shift R, and Shift R will repeat the last action. So it'll duplicate it and rotate it. So now you can see we have a bunch of bolts there, or rivets around that middle piece. So that's a lot quicker and easier, and it's more accurate rather than manually duplicating them and putting them all around. Now you can also use the 3D cursor to place the origin point at a new specific spot. So for example, let's say that I want the origin point of the monkey head to be where the ear is. Well, you can see the origin point on default is in the very center of the monkey, so when I try to rotate this, if the transform pivot point is set to median point, which is the default, it's going to rotate from the origin point. Well, I could hit tab to go to edit mode, I could like select everything and like try to move the mesh around, and try to kind of put it right here, and then you can see it would rotate around from the origin point. But I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that. Well, instead what I could do is I could just box select any area. So I'm just going to box select these faces, and then I'll hit Shift S, and then I'll do cursor to selected. So now you can see the cursor is right in the center there of our selection. So back in object mode, we can use another feature, which is if we go object, we can go to set origin. Now there's some different origins. We can set the geometry to the origin, so that way when the geometry moves over to the origin. We could also do origin to geometry, which is the opposite. So basically the origin point is going to move to the center of the geometry, but we can also choose origin to 3D cursor. And if I do this, now you can see the origin point is where the 3D cursor is. So now if I rotate this, you can see it's rotating around where the ear is. Now I have a tutorial on my YouTube channel on how to do mechanical rigging, and I do have the video link in the description if you want to check it out. And the 3D cursor is super helpful for doing this type of mechanical rigging. So if I select this object here, let's say that I want this object to rotate from this point right here, because that's going to be where the hinge is. Well, right now the origin point is just like right down here. So let's say I want to put it exactly at this point. Well, first what I'm going to do is just hit / to go into local view, and then I'll go into edit mode. So then I can just select this face here. I'll go to the other side and shift select this face. So now what I want to do is put the 3D cursor in the middle. So I'll hit Shift S, cursor to selected, and then let go. So now the 3D cursor is in the center there. And then what I can do is click on object, set origin, origin to 3D cursor, just like we've done before. And now if I hit R to rotate and rotate it on the Y axis, you can see now that's rotating correctly. So if I go out of local view by hitting the / on the numpad, I can rotate this on the Y axis, and you can see now that actually looks correct for the hinge. Let me just do it one more time to show you. So I want this piece to rotate around like this, but in this center point. So I'll go into edit mode, select this face, and then shift select this face, Shift S, cursor to selected, let go. So now the 3D cursor is right there. And then I can go back to object mode, and I'll click on object, set origin, origin to 3D cursor. And now when I hit R to rotate along the Y axis, you can see that piece is rotating correctly. And if you want to learn the basics of mechanical rigging, then I do have a mechanical rigging for beginners tutorial where I show you how to rig this robot arm. So you can definitely check that out in the description. Now when you hit Shift S, that'll bring up this pie menu, and I did want to cover all of the different tools which include the 3D cursor. So Shift S, selection to cursor, is going to bring the selected object to your cursor. The cursor to active is going to bring the 3D cursor to the active object or the active selection. So let's say that I select all 3 of these monkey heads, but I select this one last. Well, you can see these have an orange outline because they are selected, but this one was the last one that's selected, so it has a yellow outline. So if I hit Shift S, cursor to active, now you can see the 3D cursor is going to be in the very center of that object. If I hit Shift S and do cursor to selected, you can see it's going to be in the very center of these monkey heads. And that's because all of these were selected, so it just found the very center point of all 3 of the monkey heads. There's also cursor to world origin, so just hit Shift S, cursor to world origin, it's going to be in the very center. Now, a really quick way to do this is to hit Shift C. So what Shift C does is it zooms out your view to see everything, and it moves the 3D cursor to the center. So if I have like a really big project, maybe I have lots of objects, and I just want to kind of reset everything, I'll just hit Shift C, and now the 3D cursor is in the center, so I can add new objects, and the objects are going to be in the center, and I can also see all the objects. So Shift C is a very useful shortcut key. Now this next option, I don't find that useful, but if I hit Shift S, I can do cursor to grid, and you can see it's going to move it into the very center of the closest grid there in the 3D view. So if you hit like the 1 or the 3 or the 7 on the numpad for like front view, side view, and top view, you can kind of see there's these Blender grids. So if I just move the 3D cursor here and then hit Shift S, cursor to grid, you can see it's going to move it into the center of those grid areas. Now the 3D cursor can also be a useful tool and can be used with other tools in Blender. So if I go into edit mode and I'm going to select the top of the cube here, I'll hit T to open up the side panel, and I'm going to scroll down. and I'm going to use the spin tool. So I'll hit 1 on the numpad to go to front view, and from the spin tool here, I can choose the y-axis, and then what I want to do is place the 3D cursor right about here, so about the same height as that selection. And now what I can do is just click and drag, and I can use the spin tool and basically extrude out the top of the cube and have it spin around. And if you'd like to learn more about the spin tool, then I have a dedicated video on it, so you can definitely check it out in the description. Another useful feature of the 3D cursor is, let's say that I want all of these cubes to have the same height, and I want the height to be this height for this cube. So I'll go into edit mode, and using the face select, I'm going to select this plane, and I'll hit Shift S, and I'm going to do cursor to select it. So now the 3D cursor is completely flat on that plane. So now what I want to do is I want to scale these two faces so they're exactly at this plane's height. So I'm going to select all 3 objects, and I'll go into edit mode, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here to change the transform pivot point to the 3D cursor. Because if it's just set to median point and I scale this along the z-axis, you can see they're all being moved, but I want all of them to be this exact height. So I'll change the transform pivot point to the 3D cursor, and now I can scale everything on the z-axis, and you can see the other ones are moving, but this face isn't moving. And then I can type in 0, and then enter, and now you can see they're exactly the correct size, and they're all the same size. Now if I click right here on this options, this is the transform orientations, and the default is set to global. And so on default, you can hit G to grab, and then you can move something on the z-axis, the x-axis, or the y-axis. Well, the 3D cursor can actually be rotated. If I hit N to open up the side panel and go to view here, you can see the 3D cursor actually has rotation values, so I can rotate it on the x, y, and z axis. So let's say that I take this cube and I just rotate the cube. Let's just rotate over like this. I'm also going to change the transform pivot point back to median point, and then I'll just rotate the cube. Well, now what I can do is just place the 3D cursor right here. But if I look on top view, you can see that it's kind of rotated at a weird angle. So what I'm going to do is hit T to open up the side panel. I'm going to click on cursor, and then if I click on this orientation option, instead of it being set to view, I can change it to geometry. So now if I just click here to place the 3D cursor, if I go to top view, you can see now the 3D cursor has actually been rotated, so it's the exact same rotation as that plane there on the side of the cube. Now, where could this be useful? Well, if I just go to the add menu, let's just add some object, like let's just add a monkey head. I'll just scale the monkey head down and move it over. Let's say I want the monkey head to move exactly along this face. Well, what I could do is change the global axis instead to the 3D cursor. So now when I hit G to grab and then hit Z or X or Y, in this case I need to hit X. Well, now instead of it moving on the global X axis, which would be this line right here, I can hit G to grab along the X axis, and you can see it's moving along the rotation of the 3D cursor. So this is the 3D cursor's X axis. And another example of where this could be useful is if I, for example, add a cylinder, but let's say that I want to rotate the cylinder so the cylinder is at the exact same rotation point as this cube. Well, we already placed the 3D cursor using the geometry type, so it's at the same exact rotation as this plane. So right after I add the cylinder, don't click on anything else and don't move it around. Right after you add the cylinder, you can click here on the add cylinder settings. And on the align type, instead of it being set to world, we can set it to 3D cursor. So now I can just scale this down, and you can see the cylinder is pointing at the same exact direction as the face here on the cube. So that's the basics of how to use the 3D cursor in Blender, so it's a very useful modeling tool. And if you'd like to learn more about 3D modeling in Blender, then I do have a 3D modeling for beginners tutorial, which you can check out. The link is in the description. And I also have a Blender beginner fundamentals playlist where I go over more fundamentals of Blender, like 3D modeling for beginners, lighting for beginners, animation for beginners, and some more beginner fundamental topics. So I'll have some more recommended tutorial links in the description. But I hope you found this helpful, and thanks for watching.